Okay, now we're going to talk about Google+. Google Plus is personal sharing and following between friends, acquaintances, and strangers. Sounds kind of like the merge between Twitter and Facebook. They have a new thing to group news and people into categories. They call them circles. You can join communities, you can talk about brands, and posts are threaded kind of like Facebook. Google Plus was basically invented as a Facebook competitor. Connections are friends or strangers. You don't have to be reciprocal. You can follow somebody else as long as they post something that you can see. People or businesses, there's no particular distinction. You categorize people, you can call them whatever you want: friends, acquaintances, type people, high school buddies, whatever. Communities are for group discussion. Posts can be status, observations, whatever. Again, any length, kind of like Facebook. Again, people do things that look like blog entries in Google. Many-to-many conversations. They're threaded. You can edit things after posting. That's kind of nice. Privacy level is again set globally or on a per post basis, and you can set them public or to the people in your circles or the extended circles. That's like friends and friends of friends. You can set them to individual people or custom, very much like Facebook. However, you cannot change the privacy level after posting something. This is an unfortunate problem with Google+. Google Plus features look again very much like Facebook. You can share things, you can comment. Their version of like is called a +1. Their version of the @ sign is a plus sign. You can put in links, you can put in videos, and we'll get to Hangouts and email lists in a few minutes. So here's an example of a Google page. The privacy level here, it says this was shared publicly. Down here, a number of people have pushed the plus button. That's kind of like liking. They've pushed the little arrow thing. That's for sharing. And you can add a comment and you can comment. Google also allows you to talk to their various other tools. So Google Plus will interact with calendars and Google Drive and Gmail and Hangouts and Maps and stuff like that. Here's a sample news feed from Google+. Here's my example of a news feed, and it looks kind of like a news feed. More people you might know and things that are going on. And then there's BAPT.org, and we are plus BAAPT, capital O-R-G, BAPT.org. So here we are. We're up here in Google+. And there we are, and we post things occasionally. This is considered to be a page that is owned by the community. It's a brand page, so you can join to read things and to add comments, but ordinary people cannot post. It always posts as BAPT. You can have businesses and communities. A business or a brand is owned again by one or more people, and only those people can post. So we are a brand or a business in Google+, and communities are people who share your passion for a particular hobby, kind of like it was in Facebook. You can have any member posting, and again, you have to have a personal Google account before you can create a community or business. This looks very much like it did in Facebook, except this is Google. Here's our business page. We saw that a minute ago. Again, you can look for shared interests. I'm looking for the same shared interests as before, and you're going to begin to notice that the same people are posting everywhere. So CPP is in a lot of places, and CAPT is in all of these, and they just keep coming up. Now, Hangouts are a very interesting thing in Google. They used to call these Google Talk, and Hangouts are a way that you can interact with one or many people individually, not quite in the website. You're not posting something, you're actually having an interactive conversation with these people. You can communicate via text, with or without voice, with or without video. And Hangouts are available in the web browser or on an Android or iOS device, so you can do this on a tablet or you can do it on your phone. You will need a Google Gmail account to participate in Hangouts, and I am recommending that as many people in BAPT as can do it go get a Google account and join so that they can get a Google Hangout, because there are some very, very useful things that can be done in Hangouts. The BAPT marketing team has been using a Google Hangout for our monthly touch base meetings. You notice here's Julie. These are live pictures. When Julie's talking, we see Julie. Down here was Mike and Mitt and me. And there's text going on over here. If you want to, you can type, and we can share links back and forth. And when somebody talks, their picture comes up to the front, and it's really just very, very, very handy. Okay? Oh, going back very briefly to Hangouts. You can have a Hangout with as many as 10 people if you are an ordinary Google person. If you have a Google for Business account, which BAPT has, you can actually have a Hangout with as many as 15 people. And we've had some suggestions for wouldn't it be nice to have a Google Hangout after one of our monthly programs to have people talk about the program, what they learned, do some sort of debrief and discussion after that. That would be very, very nice. Another thing that Google has that Facebook and Twitter don't have is something called a mailing list, which Google also calls a Google group. Mailing lists have been around for years. A mailing list is a collection of names. It's kind of like an alias. It's a quick way to send mail to a whole lot of people. You don't need a Google Gmail account to be subscribed, to be a member, but if you want to subscribe yourself, you do need a Gmail account. If you don't have a Gmail account, you can contact a list owner, which would be me, but I am strongly recommending that as many BAPT members as can get themselves a Gmail account. You don't have to use it all the time, but it's really nice for joining a mailing list. So why would you want to join this list? Well, we've created a list called SF-BAPT Type Talk List. If you wanted to contact a Bay Area type enthusiast, a current or former member of BAPT, how would you do it? Well, you could look up all of their email addresses in the directory, but if there's lots of people, that's going to be complicated. And maybe they're a former member from last year, they didn't sign up this year, so they're not in the directory. And you could contact somebody and say, can I use the database that we use when we send out the newsletter, but we really don't want every member sending that, and that's got 500 people in it, and some of them aren't even people who've ever been members, they're just prospective. It gets very complicated. So we've been putting together a mailing list to try and make that easier. If you join the list, that says you're willing to be contacted by other members. And we could send you a note and we could say something like, would you like to come to a potluck, or would you like to discuss the program, and would you like to join a Hangout? And this would be a nice thing, and so we think you'd like to do this. So please sign up with Google.